we go.
Okay, we're on YouTube. We're reading King Lear. We are in Act 4, Scene 6, but we're like halfway through Scene 6. It's going to be dependent upon how they do the line numbers. It's going to be somewhere around line 100. And it's going to be with Lear enters fantastically uh, dressed with flowers. That being said, we are ready to go.
Okay.
And take it away, King Lear.
There's a
Edgar.
little bit there, Edgar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bear free and patient thoughts. But who comes here? The safer sense will ne'er accommodate his master thus.
No, they cannot touch me for coining. I am the king himself.
O thou side-piercing sight!
Nature's above art in that respect. There's your press money. That fellow handles his bow like a crow-keeper. Draw me a clothier's yard. Look, a mouse. Peace. This piece of toasted cheese will do it. There's my gauntlet. I'll prove it on the giant. Bring up the brown bills, O well-flown bird. In the clout, Hugh, give the word.
Sweet marjoram!
Pass.
I know that voice.
Ha! Goneril with a white beard. They flattered me like a dog and told me I had white hairs in my beard ere the black ones were there, to say aye and no to everything that I said. Aye and no to was no good divinity. When the rain came to wet me once and the wind to make me chatter, then when the thunder would not peace at my bidding, there I found him, there I smelt him out. Go to, they are not men of their word. They told me I was everything. 'Tis a lie. I am not ague-proof.
Trick of that voice I do well remember. Is it not the king?
I every inch a king. When I do stare, see how the subject quakes. I pardon that man's life. What was thy cause? Adultery? Thou shalt not die for adultery. No, the wren goes to it, and the small gilded fly does lecher in my sight. Let copulation thrive, for Gloucester's bastard son was kinder to his father than my daughters go between the lawful sheets. To it, luxury, pell-mell, for I lack soldiers. Behold yon simpering dame whose face between her forks presages snow that minces virtue and does shake the head to hear of pleasure's name. The fichu nor the soiled horse goes to it with a more riotous appetite. Down from the waist they are centaurs, though women all above. But to the girdle do the gods inherit beneath is all the fiends. There's hell, there's darkness, there's sulphurous pit, burning, scalding, stench, consumption. Fie, pah, pah. Give me an ounce of civet, good apothecary, to sweeten my imagination. There's money for thee.
Oh, let me kiss that hand.
Let me wipe it first. It smells of mortality.
O ruined piece of nature, this great world shall so wear out to naught. Dost thou know me?
I remember thine eyes well enough. Dost thou squiny at me? Do thy worst, blind Cupid, I'll not love. Read thou this challenge, mark but the penning on it.
Were all the letters suns, I could not see one. I would not take this from a report. It is, and my heart breaks at it.
Read.
What? With the case of eyes?
Oh, are you there with me? No eyes in your head, nor money in your purse. Your eyes are in a heavy case, your purse is a light, yet you see how the world goes.
I see it feelingly.
What, art mad? A man may see how this world goes with no eyes. Look with thine ears. See how yon justice rails upon yon simple thief. Hearken thine ear, change places, and handy dandy, which is the justice, which is the thief. Thou hast seen a farmer's dog bark at a beggar,
Aye, sir.
and the creature run from the cur. There thou might mice behold the great image of authority. A dog's obeyed in office. Thou rascal beetle, hold thy bloody hand. Why dost thou lash that whore? Strip thine own back. Thou hot lusted to use her in that kind for which thou whipp'st her. The user hangs the cozener. Through tattered cloths, small vices do appear. Robes and furred gowns hide all. Plate sin with gold, and the strong lance of justice hurtled breaks. Arm it in rags, a pygmy's straw does pierce it. None does offend, none, I say none. I'm able. Take that of me, my friend, who has the power to seal the accuser's lips. Get thee glass eyes, and like scurvy politicians, seem to see things thou dost not. Now, pull off my boots. Harder, harder, so.
Oh, matter and impertinency mixed, reason in madness.
If thou wilt weep my fortunes, take my eyes. I know thee well enough. Thy name is Gloucester. Thou must be patient. We came crying hither, you know, for the first time that we smell the air, we wail and cry. I will preach to thee, mark.
Alack, alack the day.
When we are born, we cry that we are come to this great stage of fools. This is a good block. It were a delicate stratagem to shoe a troop of horses with felt. I put in proof, and when I have stolen upon these sons-in-laws, then kill, 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 kill.
Enter gentlemen with attendants. I'll be a gentleman. Or actually, Orla, why don't you be the gentleman?
Oh, here he is, to an attendant. Lay hand upon him, sir, your most dear daughter.
No rescue? What, a prisoner? I am even the natural fool of fortune. Use me well, you have the ransom. Let me have a surgeon. I am to cut the brains.
You shall have anything.
No seconds? All myself? Why, this would make a man of salt, to use his eyes for garden water pots, aye, and laying autumn's dust.
Orla?
Gentlemen, oh,
Here it says, I will die bravely like a smug bridegroom.
Oh,
Is
okay.
that not in yours?
In mine, it says, gentlemen, good sir.
yeah, I have that too.
And then Lear
You,
says, I will die bravely. Okay, Lear.
Okay, I will die bravely like a smug bridegroom. What? I will be jovial. Come, I am a king, my masters, know you that.
you are a royal one, and we obey you.
Then there's life in it. Nay, and you get it, you shall all get it by running. Sa, 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 sa.
A sight most pitiful in the meanest wretch. Past speaking of in a king, thou hast a daughter who redeems nature from the general curse, which twain have brought her to.
Hail, gentle sir,
Sir, speed you, what's your will?
do you hear aught, sir, of a battle toward?
Most sure and vulgar, everyone hears that which can distinguish sound.
Your favour, how near's the other army?
Near and on speedy foot, the main descry stands on the hourly thought,
I thank you, sir, that's all.
though that the Queen on special causes here, her army is moved on.
I thank you, sir.
You ever gentle gods, take my breath from me. Let not my worser spirit tempt me again to die before you, please.
Well, pray you, father,
Now, good sir, where are you?
a most poor man, made tame to fortune's blows, who, by the art of known and feeling sorrows, am pregnant to good pity. Give me your hand, I'll lead you to some bidding.
Hearty thanks, the bounty and the benison of heaven to boot and boot.
Enter Oswald. I'll take Oswald. The proclaimed prize, most happy. That eyeless head of mine was first framed flesh to raise my fortunes. Thou old unhappy trader, briefly thyself remember. The sword is out that must destroy thee.
Now let my friendly hand put strength enough to it.
Edgar interposes. Wherefore, bold servant, dost thou support a published traitor? Hence, let that infection of his fortune take like hold on thee. Let go his arm.
He'll not let go, sir, without further cagion.
Let go, slave, or thou diest.
Good gentlemen, go your gait, and let poor Volk pass, and should have been zwaggered out of my life. 'Twould not have been so long as 'tis by a fortnight. Nay, come not near the old man. Keep out, savor ye, or ice try whether your custard or my bellow be the harder. Chilled be plain with you.
Out, dunghell.
She'll pick your jeet, sir. Come, no matter for your vines.
They fight, and Edgar knocks him down. Slave, thou hast slain me. Villain, take my purse. If ever thou wilt thrive, bury my body, and give the letters which thou findest about me to Edmund, Earl of Gloucester. Seek him out upon the English party. Oh, untimely death! Ah!
I know thee well, a serviceable villain, as duteous as the vices of thy mistress, as badness would desire.
What? Is he dead?
Sit you down, father, rest you. Let's see these pockets. The letters that he speaks of may be my friends. He's dead. I am only sorry he had no other deathsman. Let us see. Leave gentle wax, and manners blame us not. To know our enemies' minds, we rip their hearts. Their paper is more lawful. He reads the letter. Let our reciprocal vows be remembered. You have many opportunities to cut him off. If you will, want not, time and place will be fruitfully offered. There is nothing done if he return the conqueror. Then am I the prisoner, and his bed my goal. From the loathed warmth whereof deliver me, and supply the place for your labor. Your wife, I would say, affectionate servant, Goneril. O distinguished space of woman's will, a plot upon her virtuous husband's life, and the exchange, my brother. Here in the sands, thee I'll rake up, thou most unsanctified of murderous lechers, and in the mature time with this ungracious paper strike the scythe of the death-practised duke. For him 'tis well that thy death and business I can tell.
The king is mad. How stiff is my vile sense that I stand up and have ingenious feeling of my huge sorrows. Better I were distract. So should my thoughts be severed from my griefs, and woes by wrong imaginations lose the knowledge of themselves.
Give me your hand. Far off, methinks, I hear the beaten drum. Come, father, I'll bestow you with a friend.
Ah, end of that act, end of that scene.
Hi,
Ah,
Sylvia.
Ellen.
Hi. Sorry, I'm late.
Aha.
Sylvia,
Hello,
It's Lady
Sylvia.
Macbeth in
Sylvia,
person.
Hmm?
how's your
It's
cold?
Lady Macbeth in person. Sorry,
I,
Orla, please.
No, I was just going to ask how your cold was. You were sick yesterday
who
on
me?
Wednesday. Yes.
Oh no, it's my back. It's still not great, but it's much better. So
Right.
yeah.
Okay. should you be able to get some fresh pineapple, I would encourage you to eat it.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Mhm. That's one of the matter of fact, I have some pineapple in my own refrigerator right now.
Could you send some over?
If I can send it COD.
Yeah.
I didn't even know if I can send any over with all the tariff stuffs going on.
No, I don't think so.
Pineapple might be a, 100 euros by now.
I doubt the Department of Agriculture would allow it through.
Ah, that's true. Fresh pineapple probably would not get through.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we have just finished the last half of Act 4, Scene 6, which goes on quite a bit. I will tell you that the first half is basically Gloucester meeting Edgar, but he thinks that Edgar is poor Tom, and Gloucester wants to commit suicide. And so Edgar takes him to a place and tells Gloucester that he's on the cliffs of Dover and that he should jump.
Oh, yeah.
He kind of jumps. And then there's this weird scene where Gloucester is not sure whether he's alive or dead. And then in the midst of all this confusion, who should show up with a garland of flowers but King Lear himself?
Well, thank you for the summary. Yeah, I remember this. Mm.
Okay. So I'm interested in where Edgar says to, this is like line 103. Edgar sees Lear, and Edgar says, "O thou side-piercing sight." Is this a reference to Christ on the cross being stabbed by the Roman centurion? Anybody have a note about that?
It just gives him a pain in the heart to see the king as he is.
Oh, okay. So it's basically just Edgar, or not, it's basically Edgar feeling Lear's pain.
That's the way I would read it, yes.
Yeah.
Ah.
And can anybody tell me what press money is?
Lear imagines himself a recruiting officer handing bounty money to men forcibly impressed.
Oh, okay.
Press
Okay.
gang. Yeah. That's how they crewed boats back in the day.
Yeah, they said you're a soldier now.
Press gang. Yeah.
Here's
Oh,
some money.
Not sure that they paid either.
Well, apparently Lear was among the more liberal kings and did pay.
Okay.
Yeah, what would we call the king's shilling?
hmm.
You should explain to the Americans what that means.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty much this. If somebody is being pressed into the military, they're given a shilling to soothe their emotions.
Imagine that also they're given a shilling to hand to their families so the family's not completely destitute.
Uh,
But there was a lot of Irish in the British Army during the First World War anyway, and in like the Crimean War. And
Mhm.
apparently they were the only jobs people could get. There was no work. So, I
Yes.
mean, so
During the Napoleonic the Insular Wars in Spain. 1/3 of Wellington's army was Irish.
Hmm.
And by the time they got to Waterloo, nearly a half of his army was Irish, but it was very much the smaller section of the entire Allied force.
Hmm.
From what I'm reading in my notes, I don't think those that were press ganged into the military were given the king's shilling. It was those who voluntarily signed up.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah.
The
That'd make
practice
more
dates back
sense.
to
Yeah.
the English Civil War, and it officially ended in 1879. But the term has persisted.
Yeah. That would make more sense with what Duncan was saying.
Of course,
Well,
if the monarch was female, it was known as the Queen's shilling.
the Queen shilling. Okay, well, just a little bit of American history. One of the tensions between England and the United States was that the English would frequently board American ships and they would press American sailors into the British Navy. And I believe that the people who do that were called press gangs.
That's correct, yeah. They would raid the pubs along the quays in the harbour for unwilling participants to become sailors.
I see. Well, that may not have been a very good place to go drinking, it seems to me.
So you want to move inland a little bit.
All right, can anybody translate that fella handles his bow like a crow keeper?
Yeah. Scarecrow, my notes say.
Oh,
And
okay.
this is bow like a scarecrow?
Okay. So, but basically, this whole speech is supposed to prove Lear's madness, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
There's very little madness in the part where he goes. Uh, Lear says, "What art mad? A man may see how this world goes with no eyes. Look with thine ears." I mean, that's not the mutterings of a madman.
Uh-huh.
It's very solid stuff. That I mean, he goes on. Hark in thine ear, change places, and handy handy, which is the justice, which is the thief. Thou hast seen a farmer's dog bark at a beggar. He's this is back again. He's confounded by the reply he got from his three daughters.
Well, I think that Blair, among the things that he has learned from this experience, is that one is honored for one's position and not one's self.
Yeah.
I think he wasn't the only one in the play with that opinion.
Well, they didn't really have meritocracies back then.
No,
That's true.
no. Everything was inheritance to a great extent.
But I think it was show of force before inheritance. They established themselves by being sort of warlords, and
Mhm.
then they built dynasties after that.
Right. Right. It would take a couple of generations before you could bring out the conceit that it was the will of the gods and being a superior person that made one a king or a prince.
Well, no matter how small or big they were in their power, they always wanted more and used force to get it.
Well, my dear wife used to say that the reality was that the royal family in England were pirates, that they became the kings and the queens through piracy, and they maintained their royal line through piracy.
Hmm.
And I will have to say that I have slowly but surely come to that opinion.
Certainly, the current royal family is that their inheritance is from Germany, and right up into the 40s, they had quite a close relationship with the German hierarchy.
There was lots of, I mean, is it not true that they were having the problem of incest and the fact that marrying too close in the family would bring about some not very nice physical conditions, and that they wanted to keep it in the family, but they wanted to be as distant as possible. And that's why there was a lot of trading back and forth between
Yeah,
royal families.
there's a lot of marriage between first and second cousins.
Mm-hmm.
Queen
Yeah,
Victoria
when
was one of them.
I was looking up I watched the series on Napoleon that was on Amazon. And so I looked up, the way the Bourbons and the Louis, and the Bourbons, who were the Spanish ones, they were all marrying their cousins and their nieces and and then of course Napoleon comes along and marries a Habsburg. So he's marrying into them.
Mm-hmm.
And then because after he lost and he was on his way to America and ended up in Elba, um, uh, the family decided that the son was going to become a dilettante. The only way to keep him from invading the generations from invading Europe was to have him interested in the arts and culture. So that seems to be a way to control militaristic tendencies.
Okay.
Is that the Napoleon thing? Is it on currently on Amazon Prime?
Yeah, I'm at the
Good.
moment watching the one on Catherine the Great that's in Russian to get a sense of because it's all about Finnegan's Wake because all these people get name checked in Finnegan's Wake. And I'm there going, I'm playing catch up. I don't know the history, so sorry, I'm watching telly to figure it out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I did that when I started reading James Joyce. I went and read a not very well written 2-volume novelistic history of Ireland by Ruther. Well, it's not Rutherford. It's close to Rutherford, and it was actually quite good. And I know I got a lot of the details wrong, but it kind of came in big chunks, and it would tell it through stories of people during periods of time. And I found it to be a very effective way to get some kind of grasp.
That series or that on Napoleon Star Joaquin Phoenix.
No, these are old
Oh,
series. It's a French series with Gerard Depardieu. Well, it's in English,
Okay.
and oh, But he's not Napoleon. The um Montesquieu, is that his name? Is played by the Chicago actor. Um, like they're quite historic, the
Okay.
series themselves, but they're what's the like the names when you're watching them and you go, oh, this must have been made 20 years ago.
Sure. Yeah. And I presume the same applies to Catherine the Great. It's not the one with Helen Mirren.
No, it's Russian, so it might oh, they start in German and then they go into Russian.
Okay.
So it might have been made also 20 years ago.
Okay. Well, yeah, because of course Catherine the Great was German, right?
Yes, I learned that from watching
She
television as
was a
well.
German who married into the Tsarist family.
She was a Holstein and like the cows. And uh, Peter the Great was somehow related to her. Or Peter, he wasn't Peter the Great, Peter the husband was somehow already related to her. And so they were an arranged marriage.
Mhm.
But this has nothing to do with King Lear.
It has nothing to do with King Lear. But since you brought it up, I would say I don't know if you have access. It's pretty harsh. The Mussolini, Son of the Century, which here in the States it's on the Movie Channel, but it's a European made. It's a Sky production. It's a little over the top, but Mussolini was over the top. And so far, I think there's eight episodes, quite dramatic. Um, well worth looking at, but it's pretty bloody. So if you don't like blood, I wouldn't recommend it. But I found it extremely interesting that they're showing it at this particular time. Anyway, back to so we had this wonderful speech of Lear's, which shows that his soul is growing. He's not the same overweening egotist he was at the beginning of the play. Although he gets a little over the top. Lost her. Oh, let me kiss that hand. Let me wipe it first. It smells of mortality.
So,
When I was reading out Edgar there, I passed by the line, "Oh, matter and impertinency mix." You talking about Lear? "Oh, matter and impertinency mixed reason in madness," which brought me back to Hamlet's. There's method in his madness.
Mm.
Hmm.
It wasn't Hamlet; it was Polonius, actually.
Polonius said there's method in his madness
Yes, about Hamlet.
about Hamlet. So this is quite interesting. Lear saying to Gloucester, I remember thine eyes well enough. Dost thou squinny at me? No, do thy worst, blind Cupid. So I guess he picks up on the fact that Gloucester's eyes have been poked out.
You wouldn't have to be very observant for that.
I guess not.
where's
This is a pretty a pretty sick joke here. Lear, oh ho, are you there with me? No eyes in your head, nor no money in your purse. Your eyes are in a heavy case, your purse in a light. Yet you see how this world goes. Gloucester, I see it feelingly.
Mm.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because Gloucester wanted to throw himself off a cliff just a little bit before this scene.
Ooh.
And the creature, I think this is very good. What, art mad? A man may see how this world goes with no eyes. Look with thine ears, see how yon justice rails upon yon simple thief. Hark, in thine ears, change places in handy dandy, which is the justice and which is the thief? Thou hast seen a farmer's dog bark at a beggar, and the creature run from the curb? There thou mightst behold the great image of authority, dogs obeyed in office. Now, there's a sentence for our time.
Mm.
Thou rascal beetle, hold thy bloody hand. Why dost thou lash that whore? Strip thine own back. Thou hotly lusted to use her in that kind, for which thou whippest her.
So what's he referring to here?
What is Lear referring to here? He is referring to the fact that now that he's experienced more of the world as a non-king, he understands a lot more about political power. So, to put it in contemporary terms, here in the United States, the Republicans make a lot of family values and are very critical of women who want abortions, women who, um, transvestites, et cetera, et cetera. But the Republicans have a deep list of Republicans who have taken full advantage
Mhm.
sexually of a
Mhm.
lot of people.
That bit there, thou rascal beadle.
Hmm.
This glossary gives, where am I gone? Beadle,
Religion, right?
parish constable,
Yeah.
authorized to whip petty offenders.
Ah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I was looking up cozener as a swindler. Where is it? Oh no. Because that's a word to cozen that I hadn't come across before, but I think it's a brilliant word.
It could
To just
deceive.
trick or deceive.
Mm-hmm.
To winnow, induce to do something by artful coaxing and wheedling or shrewd trickery.
Mm-hmm.
That whole thing about usury, you know, as well, some religions, like Islam isn't usury when you lend money or something.
Right,
No?
right. There's they have a very unusual way of handling financing because they are outright lending for interest is forbidden.
Mm. So I think in reality they circumvent it in some way.
Yes, yes. But in Europe at this particular time, I mean, the Jewish people were actually the money lenders because the Christians were prohibited.
Well, the Christians as well, yeah.
Oh yeah, right. And it's actually part of the Bible. I forget where it is. I can't quote you chapter and verse, but somewhere in the Bible there are passages very critical of usury.
So the usurer hangs the cozener.
The cozener. Hmm.
Right.
And I think that what this means is that the usurer, they actually made serious money.
Mm.
So they could afford to look good. The cozener is more of a petty thief swindler type, because I think this all goes together. The usurer hangs the cozener, through tattered clothes, small vices do appear, robes and fur gowns hide all. Plate sin with gold. And the way I'm reading this, rightfully or wrongfully, is that the usurers actually made good money. So they would look good. Whereas a cozener, did not make much money and they always, dressed in rags. So it was easier to accuse them of crimes.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah.
remember hearing, sorry, I remember hearing one time that when the Jews were expelled from England, that came about because as money lenders, the king didn't want them lending money to his enemies, so he expelled them from the land.
Well, sometimes that was the reason, but many times the reason was because the king and everybody else in the nobility owed a lot of money. And the easiest way to
Yeah.
get out of that debt was to expel the Jews. So that happened multiple times. And of
They had a
course,
bad name for themselves either way.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so of course this would mean that, the Jews who were into money lending had to figure out how to lend money, earn money, and be prepared for when they got kicked out.
Mm. But it says in scriptures that that it wasn't, that it wasn't weren't allowed to charge interest, and the Catholic Church still forbids usury, but um, they they mean extortionate charges, and this does not mean that all interest taking is sinful. So it's all very ambiguous.
Yeah,
Well,
because Yeah, yeah, because they actually could not expand their economies without it.
No. And banks couldn't survive.
Well, there would be no banks. As simple as that. So it's like so many things when you outlaw something which is actually necessary, then you either have to distort the language to make it to have usury without having to call it usury. That's one way to get out of things. Yeah, look at the next lines. I'm going back to this Lear thing right after the usurer hangs the cozener. So which I interpret the usurer who's dressed in fancy clothes, looks really good, hangs the petty thief. And it's kind of a commonplace that the petty thief is the one always in most danger. Someone who would say, if you want to rob a bank, own one.
Hmm.
That's the best way to rob a bank, is to own it. Anyway, right after that, the usurer hangs the cozener. Through tattered clothes, small vices do appear.
What was it?
Robes and furred gowns hide all.
Hmm.
Plate.
Sorry, Duncan, sorry, that quote there, could you just give it me again? Through tattered clothes?
It's a line on my version. It's like line 152.
Yeah, no, no, I have it here, but I have tattered clothes, great vices do appear. Did you say small?
I said small.
I have
Yeah,
down great.
I've got small as well.
Anybody else got great? No?
I got small.
No, I'll get on
Yeah,
to Cambridge about it.
Hmm.
yeah, small makes more sense because once again, the idea is if you're a petty thief, you're probably going to be persecuted by the police. And if you're a big thief, a powerful, we got it going on. This is the Epstein thing right here. This is also the Panama Papers. If you haven't looked at the Panama Papers, it's quite shocking. It names all of these powerful banks and institutions and tells what they did and all that stuff. And you would think that that would have led to a lot of prosecutions. Well, it's led to almost none. Just like in the Epstein thing, as they say, the only person who was prosecuted was Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, she deserved being prosecuted, and she's probably going to get let out. She's
But she,
probably going to be pardoned. You
she's
know,
she's in some sort of um a low risk place, isn't she?
yes, those are called country club prisons.
And she sort of can she go out? I don't know if she can go
She could
out.
probably go out in the daytime. At least I went to one of those places. When I was teaching yoga for a very short time, I went to the Seagoville prison near Dallas, and that was one of these country club prisons. We would go there to give yoga classes. And a lot of the people who were imprisoned there, they would go out in the daytime, they would go to work, and then they'd be brought back in the evening.
Hmm.
So
But
I don't know her exact situation, but I'm sure it's pretty cozy.
but she's got to keep her mouth shut. There's a price. Um, but isn't there an irony here that Lear has now got insight? He can see the reality of power and lack of power, and then Gloucester is juxtaposed, with no vision. I just think it's interesting the way Shakespeare sets that up.
Yeah, Yeah, it's quite interesting, you know. Gloucester can see because he got his eyes poked out.
Hmm.
Lear's soul has become bigger because he lost his power and position and realized that, you know, it was only because of his clothes and his accoutrements that he was given respect, even by his daughters.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating how Shakespeare was able to pull this off, really.
Hmm.
Particularly when you realize that he presented King Lear before King James, and got away with it. Let's see. So we got that robes and fur gowns had all plates and with gold, and the strong lance of justice hurtless breaks. Armed in rags, a pygmy straw doth pierce it. None doth offend. None, I say none. I'll able them. Take that of me, my friend, who have the power to seal the accursed's lips. Get thee glass eyes, and like a scurvy politician, seem to see the things thou dost not.
That's a pretty accurate description of a politician.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Lacking, it's lacking in vitamins. Scurvy is lack of vitamin C,
Mm-hmm.
so it must, but it has another meaning, obviously. Have you got another meaning for a days?
No, I don't.
I
Not
think
in
there's
this.
more. Let's see, what is
Scur-
worthless or contemptible?
Oh, okay.
Sailors used to suffer from scurvy if they drank seawater.
They sailors suffer from scurvy because they would be out on the ocean for too long, and they would their vitamin C
Hmm.
would go down so far that they would start getting skin wounds and swollen, bleeding gums.
Yeah.
I watched something about discovering Australia,
Mm-hmm.
and to fund these adventures, they had to bring along rich people who could support them. And one of the people who was supporting one of the adventure to Australia to find new lands brought with him limes, and he was the only person who wasn't getting scurvy. So it dawned on them that it was the limes that stopped them getting scurvy, squeezing the limes.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
uh, after that, the British, wherever they went, planted lime trees. And that's why they all have the nickname limeys.
Oh,
Right.
very good.
I
Good.
think if I remember correctly, let me see. SCURVY, James Lind, I believe it was. Yes. The one of the most important medical libraries and repositories in the world is called the James Lind, Lind. And it was named that because James Lind was the physician who convinced the British Navy to start carrying limes
Huh.
on board.
Hmm.
So that just gives you an idea how important a discovery it was.
Yeah, well, I'm drinking Schweppes tonic water because
Mhm.
during COVID, uh, when there was no vaccine,
Right.
they said one of the suggestions was that quinine would limit the effects of COVID.
Yeah.
So I started drinking tonic water through that, and it's that time of year again when we all have to get our COVID injections. So I've started drinking. So it may or may not work, but I won't be getting malaria anytime soon.
Mhm.
There
Oh,
you go. There you go. And actually, I did not do the quinine water, but I was using Providine, which is an iodine solution. You may know it as uh, Bentadine, which is a topical for skin wounds to kill bacteria. And I bought, it was ridiculous. I bought a gallon. It was really cheap. I bought a gallon of the stuff for like $20. And you mix it, the idea was you would mix it 40 to 1. 40 parts water to 1 part Providine. And that it turns out that dentists use this a lot in the dental work. And this is where I got the idea from, was from a Japanese dentist in Osaka. And so I would occasionally, you know, put a little bit on my finger and rub it inside my nose if I went public. But here is a new thing. I don't know if you can read it correctly.
That's for allergy.
These are for allergies, but they have discovered that if you use this is like if you use this 3 times a day, this is like a 60-day supply. And that it cut down on the transmission of COVID 69%. And it's one of these things that you spray into your nose. So now I try to remember, I can't say I have the habit yet. I try to take this with me whenever I go dancing or whenever I'm in a public place. And then afterwards, give myself a couple little shots of it, of the spray. So, and the reason I started doing it, they say that they actually did a research project on this. They were pleased to find out. So
Mm,
I did get my COVID booster though 2 days ago.
mm.
If you're able to do it, I strongly suggest it.
I was speaking to someone in Wexford Hospital on Friday, and they said everybody was in masks and that the COVID was rampant down there in the hospital. I haven't heard it on the news.
I tell you what, and I shouldn't get into it too much, but I really think we are going to be in a whole lot of trouble in the next 10 to 20 years from people, from the increase in people who've lost it cognitively through too many episodes of COVID. Anyway, that's a little ways away from King Lear. So we should go back and at least try to get this particular act done. Where are we? Oh yeah. Might as well go through the next speech of Lear's when he says, "When we are born, we cry that we are come to this great stage of fools." Tis a good block. "It were a delicate stratagem to shoe a troop of horses with felt." I'll put it in proof. "And when I have stolen upon these sons-in-laws, then kill, 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 kill." So he's thinking about revenge. Then the gentlemen come. So just to make it clear, this gentleman is actually on Cordelia's team, right?
Oh, oh, is he?
Yeah. Yeah, he was sent by Cordelia. The very first thing he says, the gentleman, okay, enter gentleman with attendants. Gentlemen, oh, here he is. Lay hands upon him. Sir, your most dear daughter.
Mhm.
He's described in the dramatis personae as gentleman attendant on Cordelia.
Oh, right. That's helpful.
But Lear thinks that he's a prisoner, that
Yeah.
he's come to be imprisoned. And then the gentleman says, you shall have anything. But Lear still continues to think that he's in trouble. What, no seconds, all myself? Why, this would make a man of salt. This would make a man of salt, to use his eyes for garden water pots. Aye, and laying autumn's dust. Anybody have a note on that? Use his eyes for garden water pots, I assume just cry.
Yeah, I think so.
Good sir. And then Lear, I will die bravely as a bridegroom. What? I will be jovial. Come, come, I am a king. My masters, know you that? Gentlemen, you are the royal one, and we obey you. Lear continues. Then there's life in it, nay, and you get it. You shall get it by running. Sa, 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 sa. And I guess he's running. He runs away. Lear tries
Yeah,
to run away.
running away.
Yeah,
Attendants follow.
the stage instruction says exit running.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Attendants
yeah,
follow.
yeah. Yeah, and the gentleman comes, a sight most pitiful and the meanest wretch, past speaking of it in a king. Thou hast one daughter who redeems nature from the general curse which twain have brought her to. Okay. So Cordelia is the redeeming daughter as opposed to the two accursed daughters.
Did anybody tell me, is there any mention in this scene of Lear and his crown? Did he take off the crown? Is that my imagination? Did we pass it by somewhere? Is there any mention of it at all?
Hmm.
There was a crown of flowers or implied crown of flowers.
Yeah.
That's how in the wildflowers
Mm-hmm.
and mentioned in here in Kurosawa's version, he has the warlord wearing a garland of flowers in the scene.
I just have that image of him taking it off, but whether or not he seems to have taken off his gauntlet. There's my gauntlet, and later on he has where am I? Pull off my boots harder, harder. So he was losing stuff all the way, and then he goes running barefoot.
And is he running away? No, he's running away. He's scared. Am I right?
Yeah, right now he's running away. He thinks that the gentleman has come to arrest him.
Yeah.
In spite of the fact the gentleman making it pretty clear, no, I'm not here to arrest you. I'm
Yeah.
here, you are the royal one and we obey you. But they don't seem to be too worried about him running away because the gentleman doesn't chase after as soon as Edgar says, "Hail, gentle sir. Sir, Godspeed you. What is your will? Do you hear aught, sir, of a battle towards? Oh, most sure and vulgar. Everyone hears that which can distinguish sound. But by your favor, how near is the other army? Near and on speedy foot. The main disguise stands on the hourly thought. Edgar, I thank you, sir. That's all. Through that the queen on special cause is here. Her army is moved on. I thank you, sir.
So Cordelia is now queen. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's married to the King of France,
Yeah. Okay.
and she has come to rescue her father.
Yeah.
This is a rather sweet little thing from Gloucester after he sees all this. You ever gentle gods, take my breath from me. Let not my worser spirit tempt me again to die before you please.
And Edgar is calling him father several times, I noticed
Yes.
in the readings, but he doesn't pick it up. Or
Right.
doesn't pick it up. Am I right?
Well, he hasn't picked it up so far. So here we have again, Edgar, well pray you, father.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, now, good sir, what are you? Which I guess he's responding to being called father by this fellow. And Edgar again, there's another transformation. A most poor man made tame to fortune's blows, who by the art of the known and feeling sorrows, impregnate to good pity. Give me your hand. I lead you to some bidding. Which I take as Edgar saying that he's not going to actually tell Gloucester yet that, yes, you are my father, I'm your son. More important at this point to Edgar is the soul transformation that has happened to him. We got three characters now. We got Lear, we got Gloucester, we got Edgar. They've all three had terrible things happen to them. And yet they're grateful that these things have happened to them.
Hmm.
Gloucester's response: hearty thanks, the bounty and the benison of heaven to boot and boot. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure what, I guess boot is. And then Oswald enters. And then Oswald is going to kill Gloucester, but Edgar comes. And of course, Edgar's still dressed in rags at this point. Hence, Oswald says, well, wherefore, bold peasant, dost thou support a published traitor? Hence, lest that infection of his fortune take like hold on thee, let go his arm. And then somebody tell me, why does
Yeah.
Edgar go into this weird talk?
Yeah.
What the hell's that about? Does anybody have a note on that?
No, I was wondering the same thing.
That's strange. Let's see. Okay, let's see if
Hmm.
my two points. My notes just say that from Chill, from this thing, from line 235, Edgar puts on another verbal disguise as a West Country yokel, using what for dramatists of the period was the more or less standard dialect.
Hmm.
That's not much of an explanation, in my
Mm-mm.
opinion.
The part there, lost it again.
This
Yes,
must be an attempt to mix humor in with this very dramatic scene.
could be. Keep out, Chevar ye, or ice try, whether your custard or my ballow be the harder. And a custard is referring to his head, but it is an apple. A custard is an apple,
An apple?
a large apple.
Oh.
Okay, literally a kind of large apple. The rustic clown in some other play is named Custard.
Hmm.
Well, okay, so here I'm just going to throw this out just for the fun of it. Edgar puts on this voice because he's trying to fool Oswald into thinking that he's nothing but a country yokel and therefore will be easily defeated.
Ah.
But he's already sort of had the giving out the image of being a near madman.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about Edgar.
Edgar, yes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
well, I would assume that he's dressed in rags um, because there's no sign that he wouldn't be dressed in rags, and that he's decided to put on this voice because he knows he is probably going to have to kill Oswald. And there's always an advantage to letting your enemy think that you're an idiot and have no skills.
Would he be acting the simpleton, and the simpleton is acting as a brash foreigner? Make believe. In order to fool Oswald, as you say.
Well, remember, this comes right after Lear's speech about the effective close, where basically just a little bit before, Lear is basically saying, you got the right clothes, you can pretty much get away with anything. And if you got the wrong clothes, everybody's going to think you're an idiot and an unskillful person. And I think Shakespeare here, I'm just conjecture on my part, Shakespeare here is giving us a convincing illustration of that same thing, only to where you can be in bad clothes and you can speak funny and you can use it to your advantage in certain circumstances. So Oswald thinks he's going to be able to easily kill this guy. But as we find out, it goes the other way.
Mhm.
Till pick your feet, sir, come, and no matter hvor your foins.
But Oswald was going to kill Gloucester. But why did Reagan, according to my notes or something I found, it was Reagan that sent Oswald to kill Gloucester. But why did she want to kill Gloucester? Sorry, I've missed stuff.
Because, yeah.
Gloucester's son-in-law, was it Edmund? Edward?
Edmund.
Edmund. She has the hots for Edmund, and he will get the dukedom.
Oh, right. Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah, and actually in this particular thing, Oswald was not looking for Gloucester.
Was he not?
He was actually on his way to deliver Goneril's letter to
Edmund, according to this.
Okay, to Edmund. Okay, and he accidentally stumbles across Lear and Gloucester.
Oh, right.
All right, do we have another 5 minutes, or does anybody have to go right now?
I better go. I wasn't watching
Gotta go.
time.
Okay, then I'm gonna put I don't know if I'll remember it, but I'm gonna put a highlighter right on the point where it says, "Slave, thou hast slain me. Villain, take my purse. If ever thou wilt try, bury my body, and give the letters which thou findest about me to Edmund, Earl of Gloucester. Seek him out." Blah, blah, blah. Okay?
Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
All
Because
right.
I'd very much like to go into the depths of this letter.
Okay.
Perhaps next week.
We got it.
Bye, everybody.
Keep that,
Bye.
make a note.
Donna,
and we'll
before you
do it.
go, it's the 2002 Napoleon, and John Malkovich, who was the Chicago actor, plays Talleyrand, who's
Talleyrand,
the
good.
Malkovich
advisor.
is
And as
Talleyrand.
you were a government advisor, you might be interested in his.
Very good.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Sylvia, I hope to hear good news from you the next time you
Okay,
join us.
thanks. Yeah, thanks.
All right. And like I say, hopefully it will work for you. Pineapple does help me when I have aches
I'll
and pains.